What's going on, Warriors Investors? This is your boy Carlos Estrada Vega. Today, welcome to our channel. The Warriors Investors channel is a channel in which you learn everything about business, entrepreneurship, and real estate investment. Now, today we prepare a great video for all of you guys, and is the difference between what's title and deed when it comes down to a real estate property, and which one is best for you to hold the property in the long term or for a quick flip, or for whatever venture you're trying to get into real estate. Now, before I go into the video, I want to let you guys know that we prepare a special report for all of you guys. So at the end of the video, you're going to see a link in the bottom of this video. Go for it. It is a free report that we're giving you. We actually did a research in all 50 states of the United States, and all states in the United States, in which will tell you which states will actually use a title and which states will actually use a deed, and the best way for you to close into a property and hold the property for the long term. Now, it is free to you guys. It's something that we want to give you guys. So go ahead and get it. It is yours. Now, also, before I go into the video, I need you guys to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Hey guys, we appreciate you guys being here today. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. All right, Warriors Investors, let's talk about what's owning real estate and the difference between a title and a deed. Now, just knowing what's a title and a deed will actually set you apart from your competition. Now, keep in mind that a lot of these people out there, they're novice, and even though some seasoned investors do not specifically know what's the difference between all of them, or the title and a deed, and they don't know when to use them properly. Now, an advice that I give you is that once learn what's a title and a deed, when to use in the in and outs of it, but at the same time, consult your real estate attorney. Make sure you actually find a real estate attorney that's willing to work with you as part of your power team in order to be successful as a real estate investor. Now, it's good to know what's a title and a deed, when to use them, and the ins and outs of it. Why? Because we also deal with homeowners, and ethically, it's our job to do the best that we can do by them. It is a good thing to actually help the homeowner. It feels great to actually get him out of a situation which they don't know nothing about, but it also feels great for us to be rewarded handsomely. Now, let's continue and let's talk about what's title. Now, title. The term title refers to a document that lists the legal owner of a piece of property. Titles can be used to depict ownership of both personal and real property. Personal property is anything that doesn't include real estate, such as appliances, vehicles, antiques, or artwork. Real property, on the other hand, includes the physical property of real estate, as well as a bond of ownership, any uses or rights. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit. Title for real property must be transferred when the asset is sold, and it must be clear to transfer to take place. Now, what's deed? Deed is a written and signed legal document used to convey title to real property. In other words, it is a document that transfers some property rights in real estate. The deed must be in writing. Now, the grantor, the one conveying the title, must be legally competent. Now, the grantee, which is the person receiving the title, does not need to have any legal capacity. The deed must contain an adequate description of the property. Now, the biggest difference between a deed and a title is a physical component. A deed is an official written document declaring a person's legal ownership of the property, while the title refers to the concept of ownership or rights. Now, let's talk about what is the property ownership. We have land, we have real estate, and we have real property. Now, if you purchase land, you will own all the land on the surface, as well everything down to the center of the earth and upwards of physical infinity. So anything down and anything up, that's going to be yours. This means that you will own all the water and the trees and the shrubs and the minerals and the oils and the gas and the air rights, unless otherwise stated specifically in the deed that you do not own those things. Now, real estate is defined as the land plus any man-made ditches that are permanently attached to the surface. These can include houses, buildings, apartment sewers, sidewalks, street water rights, and minerals, just to name a few. Now, this brings us to the concept of real property. Real property is defined as the land plus the real estate plus the bundle of rights. A bundle of rights is also called title. Title is the legal term for a bundle of rights. A bundle of rights is a term for the said legal privileges that is generally afforded to a real estate buyer with the transfer of a title. Now let's talk about the rights under the bundle of rights and what are they? Now, the right to possession, it is the right to have and hold. The right of control, total control within the framework of the work. The right of encumbrance, the right to mortgage, grant easement, and burden title. The right of enjoyment, the right to use your property as you see it fit. And the right to disposition, which is the right to sell, lease, batter, or destroy your own property. All right, so let's talk about the four most common types of real estate deeds. They are your general warranty deeds, they are your special warranty, your bargain, and your quitclaim. They are placed from the most to the least protection and the guarantees for each deed. Now, the general warranty deed has the most protection, guarantees no hidden liens or encumbrances, and guarantees that the seller has the right to sell the property. Now, the special warranty is a limited protection, guaranteed only through tenants. That the seller has a legal title and that the property was encumbered during the period of ownership. Bargain deed has a limited protection, no warranties against any form of encumbrances. That's implied that the seller holds a title, commonly deed in foreclosures and tax sales. Now, your quitclaim deed is the least protection out of all of them. Only guarantees that the right of interest of the seller has on the property. Typically only used to change title between parties if the buyer is confident that there is a clean title. All right, joint tenancy. Joint tenancy occurs when two or more people hold title to real estate jointly, with equal rights to enjoy the property during their lives. If one or more parties dies, the rights of ownership pass to the surviving tenants through a legal relationship known as the right of survivorship. Tenants can enter into a joint tenancy at the same time, and this usually occurs through a deed. Now, advantages. The main advantage to enter into a joint tenancy is that the ownership is passed down to the surviving tenant if one of them passes on, avoiding probate even without a will in place. Another benefit is that neither party in the ownership needs to be married or related. If the parties are not married, they can sell the property without a court petition if all parties agree to the division of property. Furthermore, the relationship of the property is shared between tenants. That means any financial burden relating to the property belongs to everyone, not just one individual. Now, the disadvantages, the downside is that any financing or use of the property for financial gain must be approved by all parties and cannot be transferred by a will to an external party after one passes, as it automatically goes to the surviving owner. Another significant disadvantage is that a creditor who has a legal judgment to collect debt from one of the owners can also petition the court to divide the property and force a sale in order to collect on his judgment. In other words, each of the owners take risks in the other's financial choices. Now let's talk about tenancy in common. With tenancy in common, two or more persons hold the title to real estate jointly with equal or unequal percentage of ownership. For example, let's just say Bob has a 40% interest in a property while John has 60% interest. At the same time, all aspects of the property are shared by the people named on the title. That means Bob is not limited to access only 40% of the physical property or 40% of the time. For instance, each owner has the right to occupy and use the entire property. The interest percentage simply determines the financial ownership of the real estate. Unlike joint tenancy, tenants in common hold title individually for their respective portion of the property and can dispose or encumber it at will. This type of title can be entered into any time, even years after other owners enter into an agreement. Ownership can be willed to parties, and in the event of death, ownership can be transferred to the owner's heirs undivided. All right, so let's talk about an advantage of tenancy in common. Tenancy in common allows one owner to use the wealth created by the portion of the property as a collateral for financial transaction. And one owner's creditor can place liens only against that owner's portion of the property. This kind of title also makes purchases much easier. The disadvantage in a tenancy in common is that it does not allow for automatic survivor rights. All tenants share the liability of any debts on the property. Joint and several liability may apply for taxes, for property taxes. For example, that means that each owner is liable up to the full amount due. If one owner is unable to pay the portion, the other owners are liable. Any liens on the property must be cleared in order for a total transfer of ownership to take place. All right, so let's talk about tenants by entirety, or TBE. This method can only be used when owners are legally married. Tenants by entirety is our ownership in real estate under the assumption that the couple is one person for legal purposes. This method conveys ownership to them as one person. The title transferred to the other is entirely one of them dies. Now, advantages of tenants by entirety. The advantages of this method is that there's no legal action need to take place at the death of one spouse. There is no need for a will, and probate or other legal action isn't necessary. The disadvantage is conveyance of the property must be done together, and the property cannot be subdivided. In the case of divorce, this type of title automatically converts to a tenancy in common, meaning that the one owner can transfer ownership of the respective part of the property to whoever they wish. Now let's talk about sole ownership. Sole ownership can be characterized as the ownership by an individual or entity legally capable of holding the title. The most common of sole ownership is held by single men and women and married men or women who hold property apart from their spouse, along with their businesses that have a corporate structure allowing them to invest and or hold interest into real estate. Now, important, when married people wish to own their own real estate apart from their spouse, title insurance companies typically require the spouse to specifically disclaim or relinquish their right of ownership in the property. Now, some of the advantages is the main advantage is of holding the title as a sole owner is the ease in which the transaction can be accomplished because no other party needs to be consulted to authorize the transaction. Disadvantage in the potential for legal issues regarding the transfer of ownership should the sole owner die or become incapacitated. Unless a specific legal document such as a will exists, the transfer of ownership upon death can be very problematic. Now, lastly, let's talk about community property. Now, community property is a form of ownership by spouses during the marriage that they intend to own together. On the community property, each spouse owns everything equally, regardless of who earned or spent the money. Thus, each spouse gets an equal division of the real estate property in the event of divorce or death. In the United States, there's 9 states that community property laws apply. That is California, Arizona, Nevada, Louisiana, Idaho, New Mexico, Washington, Texas, and Wisconsin. Outside of real estate, personal property acquired during the one marriage, such as vehicles, furniture, and artwork, may be deemed as community property. Depending on the community property estate you reside in, real estate acquired during a common law marriage may also be held as a community property. Now, Texas, for example, is a community property state that also recognizes common law marriages. Now, community property with the right of survivorship is a way for married couples to hold title to a property. Although it is only available in the United States, is in Arizona, California, Nevada, Texas, and Wisconsin. This allows one spouse interest in the community or property assets to pass probate free to the surviving spouse in the event of death. All right, Wars investors, we appreciate you guys staying to the end. Hey, I hope you guys love this video. Couple things that we want you to go ahead and do. First, I need you to go on the bottom of this video and make sure you click on the link and download your free report. Now, second, I need you to like this video. Third, share this video. Fourth, subscribe to the channel. Hey, we're gonna be putting a lot of new things that we want you to make sure you actually get the best out of it. But the only way that you're gonna know and we're gonna be notified is if you subscribe and you click that bell icon to let you know when we post a new content. Now, fifth and last, hey, do not forget to go to our Facebook group. The link is in the bottom, but it will also be in the bottom of the video. Now, go into the Facebook group. This group is an elite group. We want you to, and if you are interested in not only learning about real estate, learning about digital real estate, learning how to become a better entrepreneur and businessman or woman, and also to create some digital assets, then go into the Facebook group, answer the questions. Make sure you answer the question. We want to make sure that you're a right fit for the elite group that we have. And if you actually fit the criteria, you'll be allowed in and you'll be able to actually gain all the knowledge and gain all the access that we're going to have available for you guys. Guys, till next time, this is your servant leader, Carlos Estrada Vega, and I'll see you at the top.